Good morning to Miss Russell, super successful second graders, and anyone else who chooses to join us. I'm so glad you're here. I decided to take it outside. It's kind of nice. It's supposed to rain, but hopefully we'll beat the rain. And so we're going to have our math lesson, and I've got a really great fun activity, so I hope you enjoy it. I'm outside on my back porch, and our learning target is the same. We're talking about partitioning circles and rectangles into equal shares, and we're talking about fractions. So I want us to look over here really quick. Okay, so if you look right over here, I'm going to bring the phone a little bit closer. And whoops, Miss Russell is not used to this. Okay, so let's look at this fraction right here. Let's look at this square. Okay, so if we look at this square, it has it's divided equally, partitioned equally into 4 equal shares. What part of this square is shaded? 1 out of 4 squares. So 1 out of 4 of these squares is shaded. So 1/4 of this square is shaded. Let's look at this square. It's still divided equally. It's not divided into squares. They put triangles in it. It's divided into 4 equal triangles right here. You could zoom in on it if you can. Okay. How many of it? There's 4 triangles all together. Okay. And so we're going to put 4 on the bottom. How many of them are shaded in? 2. 2. 2/4. 2/4 is another way of saying 1/2. Okay. Let's look at this square. Actually, this is a rectangle. Look at this rectangle. There's 2 pieces, so we're going to put a 2 on the bottom. Okay? How many are shaded? 1. 1/2. Half is shaded. Okay? The same amount is shaded in this square. Half is shaded in this square, and half is shaded in this rectangle. Let's look at this circle right here. Okay? How many equal parts? It has 3 equal parts. 3 partitions. How many partitions are shaded? 2. So we say this is 2/3. 2/3 of this circle is shaded. That's the fraction. Look at this one again. I think I copied this twice. It's the same exact thing. So we'll move on to this one. Okay? How about this one? This square is sort of like this one, except it's shaded at the bottom. Does it matter? No. There's 4 squares, and 1 is shaded, so it's 1/4. Okay? So when we're talking about fractions, I want to introduce 2 words to you. You might already know these: numerator and denominator. Okay? Numerator, like when we're talking about this fraction, is the number that goes on the top. So the numerator for 2/3 is 2. The denominator is 3. 3 tells the whole part. Okay? So if it was 3/3, that would be the whole fraction. There's 3 parts to this fraction. There's 3 parts to this circle, and 2 of them are shaded. So 3 is the whole thing. 2 are shaded. 2/3. We say 2/3, 2/3. Okay? I want to show you a little poster that I made. Give me 1 second. Whoop, there goes my marker. Okay? I hope it sticks. It's kind of humid out here. All right. So let's look over here. It's a little lopsided. Okay? There we go. Little technical difficulties. Put that right there. And one more piece of tape. Okay. There we go. So, ways to represent fractions. I hope you can see this. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. Okay, so, there it goes. Ways to represent fractions. So, we have parts of a whole. Parts of a whole. Okay, so the whole thing right here is the circle. That's the whole. Okay? What part is shaded? What fraction is shaded? What fraction would you use to represent the part that is shaded on this circle? What fraction? Say it. 1/2. So you would call, there's 2 parts. 1/2. 1 is shaded. 2 is the denominator. 1 is the numerator. The whole part is 2. Okay? If we wrote 2/2, that would mean the whole part. Okay? Parts of a set. So I have a set here of hearts. 6 hearts all together. There's 6. How many of the hearts are shaded? 3. So if we were to write a fraction for this, we would put 6 on the bottom because 6 is the what? Total. What are we going to put on the top? 3. 3 over 6. 3/6 are shaded. 3/6 is another way of saying 1/2. Why? Because 3 is half of 6. Just like 1 is half of 2, 3 is half of 6. So both of those fractions are really the same, okay? Just written differently. And you'll learn more about that later. This is a little strip diagram that I made. The whole part is what? 4. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to it, right? This is sort of like what we did for our activity yesterday, okay? And if we look at this part, what part is shaded? What part of this fraction is shaded? 1. 1 what? What fraction is that? 1/4 is shaded. 1/4. If I colored in 3, it would be 3/4. Okay? Does this shaded area represent a half? I'm asking you that. Does the shaded area shaded represent half? Does it? No, it does not. We just went over that. It represents 1/4. What would we have to do to make it represent a half? We would have to color in another part. Then it would be a half, right? Okay, so let's look at this number line. Let's look at this number line. If this line represents one whole, so let's say that this whole line from here to here represents 1. Just like this represents one whole, this represents one set, this represents 1. Let's say from here to here represents 1. Okay? So we have point A, B, C, and I guess we could call this, the very end, D. Okay? What does A, B, and C represent in fractions? So if this is 1, if this point right here represents 1, and these are all equal parts, and I did measure it with a ruler, so it is equal, what would this part be, and this part be? A would be what? 1/4. 1/4. B would be half. 1/2. And C, here's a new fraction, would be 3/4. Okay? Because this is 1/4, half, 3/4, and the whole thing. Okay? So these are all different ways to represent fractions. Fractions can be represented in a lot of different ways. Okay, when you make, I showed you that video on YouTube. I shared it with you when that lady made the brownies and she had the whole brownie, the whole plate of brownies, but she had to divide it up equally in equal shares. That is one way that you use fractions, just in real life. Okay, so I want us to look at our activity for today. I hope you've cut out 4 circles. Okay, if you haven't, you can do that later, and you could always rewind this. Okay, I'm going to take this down for a minute, put it over to the side. There it goes. Okay, and put this up here. Okay, so I thought this was fun. I saw this activity on Pinterest. Yes, Miss Russell loves to use Pinterest. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this around for now. Give me 1 second and put this back up here. Can you hear the birds singing? They sound so pretty. Can you hear them? You hear it? I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, here we go. So, fraction art. What fraction does the shaded area represent? So, what I'm going to have you do is get your circles. And you don't have to do all this right now. You can do it later. I'm just going to show you. Okay? Fraction art. We love to do art in our class, don't we? Yes, we do. What fraction does the shaded area represent? So this is just some old paper. Guys, if you don't have paper, your parents don't have to go out and buy stuff. You can use the back of magazines. You could go through old mail, cut out, find a circle, a can, a bowl, trace it, cut it out, and there's your 4 circles. They don't have to be just like this. We know that when we do art, Miss Russell's going to show you an example, but everybody is different, and so you be you, and I'll be me, right? And we're going to do it all together. We're going to represent, have fun, and have fun doing art, okay? So this is our little fraction art. What fraction does the shaded area represent? So here's a circle, and so to make this circle, I just folded it in half, okay? and then I folded it in half again. So all of this, for all of this art project, I made it into fourths, right? Because it's going to have 4 sections. So then I'm going to just take my marker or a crayon or whatever you have and go through the 4 circles. Boom, 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 boom. I just mounted it on some colored paper. It would look really cool. You know, it would look really cool. I didn't think about this. Get an old magazine and mount it onto the back of old magazine. That's nice glossy paper, different colors. That would look really pretty. Please take a picture of your work and send it to me via Class Dojo. If you get on portfolios on Class Dojo, you could take a picture. Thank you, Ross, for sending your work. I saw that. Good job. I want to see more people take more of my students do that. Awesome. Okay, so let's go over this. Fraction art. What fraction does this shaded area represent? Okay, so we talked about numerator and denominator, right? The 4, okay? All of these are divided into 4, so I can just make that fraction on all of them because it's all in fourths, okay? What area is shaded? 1/4. 1/4. 1/4 is shaded. Okay? It's divided into fourths. How about this one? 2/4. Right? 1, 2. 2/4. What's another way of saying 2/4? Half. It's divided in half. Okay? Because 2 is half of what? 4. 2 is half of 4. Okay? How about this one? 1, 2, 3. 3/4. 3/4. Okay? How about this one? 4/4. Okay? And all of it is shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a whole. It's the whole thing is shaded. Whole. The whole thing is shaded. Okay? So you can I just did different designs. I just used black just to be consistent, but you can use whatever color you want. Please take a picture and show it to me. I would love to see what you've done. I mounted it on a piece of paper. If you want to you can tape 2 pieces of paper together to mount it, or just find something else to mount it on. You can put it on your refrigerator. Please take a picture and show me. I really want to see your work. Miss Russell misses you very much, and I hope you're enjoying these. You can write a message below if you want to, and I will see you soon. And please ask me any questions via Class Dojo, and I will get back to you. Your parents can ask me any questions. I hope you're doing well, and I miss you. Miss Russell loves you, and we're going to get through this, and you're doing a great job. Thank you. Keep up the AR. Keep on doing AR. Keep on reading. We know we got to read every day. The best way to become better readers is to do what? Read. You know it. All right. See you later. Bye-bye. Can you hear the birds now? Listen. Bye-bye.